We've got this new video that I don't know if it's from the Harris.
I think it's from like a PAC or whatever.
Right.
But it's like a lot of these PACs that make the videos. You'd be like, can we pay you to stop doing that?
Yeah. This commercial is hilarious in that I thought it was Babylon Bee at first when someone mentioned it, and I was like, there's no way they actually made this. I'm gonna play this for you now. Listen to this. I don't know if there's a lot of narration, so we'll have to explain some of it. But it's 30 seconds long. Let's roll.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
So she votes for Harris.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember,
What an
happens
idiot.
in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
Yo, what's so funny about this is it's like the most condescending, disrespectful thing I've ever seen for women. Like, you're only voting that way because your husband told you to. Why not don't?
Well, obviously the thing that has to be made is the other way. Like Trump needs to do one where it's like a bro coming in with his future is female shirt. He's got the Hillary pin. And he's like,
I was thinking the exact same thing. That's hilarious.
No Trump on our house, right, honey? And then he goes, votes Trump, and then
He goes Trump, and then he writes in Trump for every other.
Do you want to have sex to celebrate?
And then he writes underneath, please, for the love of God, save me. Save me, Trump, please.
Yeah, it's also hilarious, too, that, like, their whole line has been Trump is causing too much division. And they're like, hey, ladies, your husband sucks. He's awful. Don't tell him the truth. Don't tell him who you're voting for. Lie to him.
But jokes aside, all that stuff, it more felt in the direction of what you're saying when I saw that this shit feels like a Hail Mary where we're like, if you lie to your husband, maybe you could do that. Like that, it felt like a little where you don't,
Brought to you by Bad Wives for Harris.
I went and voted today. I voted today. I voted for Trump.
Jill Stein.
And no, none of that. And I went with Allison, and we were waiting in line. It was only like 15 minutes, and it was great. And as we were getting close to the entrance, waiting in line, I told her about this ad, and I explained, like, the woman goes to the polling booth, and she looks across another woman, they, like, smile at each other. And then, the husband's got, like, the American flag hat on, and then she looks around, and then she checks off Kamala Harris. And then the husband's like, did you make the right choice? And she's like, sure did. And Allison starts laughing. She's like, that's ridiculous. And I said, I know. Could you imagine what that husband would do to her if he finds out that she went in there?
Yeah.
And then she started laughing.
That's the second half of the ad. I thought it was private.
Dude, you mentioned Jill Stein. There should literally be a bit where the person goes in to vote for Jill Stein, but it's the same exact motif, but it's like you don't want anyone to know if you do that. Like, no one in the world has to know that you voted for Jill Stein. Like, that could just be your secret.
There's like a Trump voter and a Kamala voter, and they're like, which one did you vote for? And they're like, and there's just sweat pouring out like the like that.
They look at each other.
What was the
Key and Peele.
Yeah, Key and Peele. The sweat's just pouring profusely. Like
they both vote for Jill Stein while locking eyes with each other.
But yeah, to me, that doesn't feel like ad you make when you feel confident. That's your like. That's a pretty Hail Mary to be like, ladies, like you could lie to your husband.
But it's not just that. It's like, ladies, have you considered that you have no agency and you're only voting Republican because your husband told you to?
Yeah. They got that. The husband's like growls at her.
Democrats are. He's like, Democrats are real good at being condescending, though.
Well, the guy version is and the guy version is like, listen, boys, we know you're voting Democrat for pussy. Like, she's not gonna know. Like that's what they're saying. You know what I mean?
You got to make that, dude.
Boys, she's in the booth. You can't tell what happens in the booth stays in the booth, fellas. Oh.
Yeah, but they actually.
Which is sad, browbeaten guys. No, they're voting. He tosses him a beer. He's like,
that's honey, and then he winks at the camera.
Listen. When Alice and I went to vote, we're both next to each other, and they have a bunch of different.
Did you peep?
Well, no. So we're standing next to each other, but there's polling stations all over the place in different areas. And people will get up randomly, and then they sit you down at whatever one pops open. It just so happened that they sit Allison down, and then the guy stands right up, and they walk me, so I'm sitting literally right next to her. And, I could leave if I wanted to.
You could take a peep if you want.
Yeah, I saw a libertarian in there somewhere. No, I don't No, but I didn't. I was like, I don't care. People are going to vote for who they want to, but I trust Allison is going to vote for the right person, and that is Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's such a wild thing. I mean, but that's their entire line of reasoning, right? Like, anytime a woman is a Republican, it's because she's coerced in some way.
Right.
Also, I like the implication that women didn't know that their vote is secret. The ad has to reveal that, too. Like, my husband will know if I vote.
But the commercial may have gone like, hey, dumbass, did you know that no one knows you're voting? We think you're stupid. Maybe you need to be told this.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's what I'm saying. If I was part of the Kamala Harris campaign, I'd be like, someone call those guys and be like, stop making videos.
Like the white dudes for Harris.
There's this town called Harrison, Arkansas, and they made all these videos how it's the most racist town in America. And so there's like a ton of documentaries. And if you watch the videos, it's like one guy in the town that's in the KKK and the rest of the town that's like, please stop making documentaries about our town, right? That's always to me, that's what they need. The guy to be like, please stop.
They should keep making them because they're funny.
Sure.
Like I'm having a good time, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I think you really should make the guy version of it.
Exactly.
Like, boys, you don't have to actually vote Democrat to hook up with this chick. Just say you did.
It's really crazy
And then throw the guy a beer and they crack it like, yeah.
that video encourages lying to your spouse.
I know.
Yeah,
Or just like
Well, I mean, you should.
from your spouse. It's such a messed up campaign message.
Your hair looks amazing today.
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, if I was, I'd lie to her.
I guess discretion and lying are
Seamus
two
is
different
sweating.
things. You don't have to tell them the truth. As long as you're not telling them a lie, you're not necessarily.
You shouldn't lie to your wife. You shouldn't lie to your husband.
You just don't have to say everything all the time.
That's fair. That's fair.
I actually find your twin sister ugly and you hot. Sure.
But no, it's also such a weird thing that, like, look, this also could just be because politics is so important to me. But in reality, with how polarized we are and how massively different you have to be in worldview to support either party, it seems bizarre that you would
it's
marry
true,
someone
though.
without knowing their politics or being on the same
Bro,
page.
look
Like,
at the
how are you gonna
Conways.
raise your kids?
Look at the Conways.
They probably got married before.
Yeah, that
things
didn't
got
work so
crazy
great.
politically.
Yeah, but how does that happen?
Well, I don't know if you watched 2016 to now. It's like, there was a whole era where they go, everyone needs to have an opinion on this. And there's probably couples that have like talked about politics twice in 10 years they've been
That's
together.
Insane to me.
Well, you run a show about politics. Some people.
Yeah, but like Alice and I talk about a lot more than just politics. In fact, we don't talk about politics all that often.
Yeah.
But like it comes up. In
When
fact,
I was growing up, though, like I would say that, like politics, probably where I grew up, at least, was probably the equivalent of you could be like, oh, this person likes metal and this person likes this, and it's not like a big deal.
Yeah, that's how it was for me too. It came down to like the end, and you'd be like, "So who are you gonna vote for anyway?" And they'd be like, "Oh, that guy." And you'd be like, "Huh, I'm voting for the other one."
Yeah, it's not like, oh, if that guy, the people who like metal are murderers.
That's because but a lot of that is because up until about 2010 or so, politics weren't so like it wasn't so polarized.
interwoven into everything, and
It wasn't so
also
polarized. I mean, like everyone in the U.S. kind of thought the U.S. was generally good, right? For the most part, you could reliably say if I go and talk to someone, they're probably going to think that the United States is an overall good place. Maybe they'll say we have some problems or whatever. Nowadays, the left and the right have vastly different views on the United States itself. They have vastly different views on the way our government operates.
and they more importantly have vastly different views on the intentions of their opponents now.
Yeah, that's true too. But I mean that right there is a big part of the problem when we've got two groups that have such completely and totally different views on how the country like the left thinks the country, or at least the progressives think the United States is irreversibly racist and it should be torn down totally. Like that's what the progressives think. They think that this country is built on racism, that everybody in America is to some degree racist, that America is a net negative for the world. And if that's your worldview, and you're talking to someone else that says, generally, I think the United States has been a force for good in the world historically. We are one of the least racist societies in all of human history, which is undeniably true. And if you have those opinions, and you're talking to someone that says, no, the U.S. is full of racist. It's built on slavery. The 1619 Project is actually how the start of the country started. Those two views are so diametrically opposed and so totally different. It's no wonder that Americans are finding it harder and harder to find common ground.
Yeah.
You know?
That weird ass America's horrible mindset is like, I mean, it really caught fire during the wars in the Middle East. I fell into it in 2008, 9, 10. I was like, screw the military, screw America. But like, it's like the internet's allowing people to amplify that ridiculous
And the internet's
message.
allowing them, it makes people have those opinions later in life. Like that used to be more, yeah, that's like 20-year-old stuff. Whereas now, and then you're 40, you don't think about it as much anymore. It's with a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that are like 30 to 50 that have a lot of opinions on that stuff that probably 15 years ago would be more thinking about their family and whatever.
I think the internet creates for the average person. I refer to the left as like a cult, but it creates many cults and obsessions. It creates an entertainment obsession cycle where people will latch on to one thing, and Donald Trump happens to be that largely for most people. Did you see the video of the woman going on the lawn and punching the Trump sign? Mm-hmm. It's like a purple flamingo, and she's just screaming and kicking and punching it. And I'm like, that's not a lady who has a disagreement with Trump. That's a person who's got a psychotic obsessive disorder, and she's trapped in it because the internet keeps blasting her in the face with it.
Yeah, found
There's
your community there.
There's no escape. But but not even. She goes on YouTube, and YouTube keeps just putting it all in her face every
The
single
algorithm,
day.
you mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she can't escape it.
There's no escape in there. The escape's out here in the real world. The escape's on the horizon.
But then she goes outside and she sees the Trump sign and she's like, it's everywhere. And then she just goes and just starts punching a sign and bashing it with a rock.
I was driving over here and I got a good look at the sunset and I was like, whoa, I just
Did you
felt
stare
my
at it?
brain.
I knew that was coming.
My brain was just resettled. It renormalized. It was like 4 seconds. I was like, whoa.
Ian's the sun staring.
Nice.
But it had sun gazing.
Good for your eyes.
It's excellent for your eyes, I hear. Yeah, if you do it right.
That's
it
not
can
medical
be very
advice for the
good.
audience.
Not. It's an ancient Hindu practice, ancient practice where people would gaze at the sun during the sunset, and then they'd get all this energy and they'd feel better. And it helped me repair my eyes.
And the glasses stock would go through the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big glasses, loves monitors.
yeah.
Monitors are frying
A
our
brilliant
eyeballs.
blind yogi suggested it long ago.
But it was well after the sun had set. It was just the colors, the different. It was wild.
Now it's not the sun. Now it's sunset gazing. Now
But it's the horizon, really. Andrew Huberman talks a lot. He's a neuroscientist about how staring at the horizon for 15 minutes a day is extremely good for your neurology.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.